Hello, everyone. I am the mysterious man who will share with you eerie tales I have heard myself and stories that people from everywhere have sent to me. Today, I will bring you a story I heard in person, and I have changed the names of the characters to keep them anonymous. Now, let's dive into the story. Bridge Thompson, located on the outskirts of the city, is a place where many people pass by every day. But when night falls, the bridge becomes strangely quiet and deserted, a stark contrast to the bustling atmosphere of the day. What makes Bridge Thompson famous is the horrifying tale of a ghostly apparition, the spirit of a thief who met a tragic end there, and who appears every night. Long ago, the locals near Bridge Thompson began telling stories of a thief's ghost. It was said that this thief had died by jumping off the bridge to escape police pursuit on a stormy, rainy night. That night, after successfully snatching a necklace from a passerby, the thief was chased by the police all the way to Bridge Thompson. Afraid of being caught and in a state of panic, he jumped off the bridge in a desperate attempt to escape. However, for some unknown reason, the thief perished in the river. His body was found the following morning. Since then, on desolate late nights, many have reported seeing the thief's figure, drenched and dripping, standing silently by the bridge railing, staring down at the dark river below. Some say they passed by him without noticing, only realizing later that his figure hadn't moved at all, showing no signs of life. Others recount feeling an unusual chill, like the breath of death, whenever they passed by that area at night. Mr. Don, a motorbike taxi driver, often travels over Bridge Thompson in the late night to pick up passengers. But one night, as he was heading home after a long, tiring day, the atmosphere near the bridge became eerily silent. A soft breeze carried a chill, weaving through his hair, and the dim streetlights cast a weak glow on the bridge. Don noticed a young man standing quietly by the railing, dressed in a white shirt, his hair wet and hanging down. Don felt odd as the young man stood still, not turning around or calling for a ride like other customers. Even when Don stopped beside him, he had to ask, "Do you need a ride?" He asked, trying to keep his calm despite the unease creeping over him. The young man slowly turned around. His face was pale, his eyes deep and hollow, staring into the void. Yet he said nothing. He only nodded. Trying not to think too much, Don handed him a helmet and invited him onto the bike. When the stranger sat down behind him, a cold shiver spread from the young man's body, making Don shiver. He thought it might just be the cool night air. As they rode, Don began to feel something wasn't right. Although he was driving at a good speed, the surroundings were unnaturally quiet, devoid of any sound. The young man sat silently without saying a word. After traveling some distance, Don began to worry as he hadn't asked where his passenger was heading. By then, they had reached a dark, empty alley without a single light from any nearby houses. When Don stopped to ask the young man where he wanted to go, he turned around only to find the back seat empty. The young man had vanished as if he had never existed. Don stood frozen, unable to believe his eyes. Horror crept up his spine as he felt cold sweat running down his back. The helmet in his hand was still there, yet his passenger was gone. His mind raced as he tried to find a rational explanation. He mumbled to himself, "It can't be. I just gave him a ride." After that night, Don avoided driving at night for a while. He couldn't explain what he had experienced, but the lingering fear stayed with him for many days. Since then, he has always avoided Bridge Thompson whenever he had to drive late at night. It wasn't just Don. Many other motorbike taxi drivers have shared similar experiences. They say that late at night, as they ride past the bridge, they occasionally see a young man in a white shirt standing quietly and staring down at the canal. Some have picked him up, but when they reach the destination, he suddenly vanishes, leaving them with a lasting fear etched into their minds. Strangely enough, even the fare for the trip disappears, as if the ride had never happened. Gradually, the story of the young man in the white shirt at Bridge Thompson spread around. People began advising each other not to cross the bridge late at night, especially if they felt an unusual chill or saw the quiet figure of a young man standing by the railing. Many believe that it is the restless spirit of the thief who jumped from the bridge years ago, eternally wandering and waiting for someone to take him home. To this day, the legend continues to haunt those who pass by. While some dismiss it as mere rumor, no one dares to investigate. When night falls, Bridge Thompson becomes a place where the living and the lost souls meet in an eerie, mysterious atmosphere. Tales like this make the nights more mystical, and Bridge Thompson, although just an ordinary bridge by day, transforms into a place no one dares to tread when darkness shrouds it. The story ends here. Thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel to support me in creating more stories. Now, goodbye and see you next time.